believe it or not, DPO skills is now the most sought after. In Singapore, we're short of 10,000 data protection officers over the next 3 years. I think you read the GDPR study from IAPP, that's 75,000. Think about Philippines looking for data protection officers. And that's the reason why we decided to use the innovation part to build a tool, because there's so much work that the data protection officer has to do, or at least to coordinate, right? Okay, so that gives you a perspective. The problem we see, and some of you here are providers, right? The old model, we call these the pipeline model. You find the deals and you try to create business out of it. It's going to go away, right? A lot of the parts will be automated. Now, take a look at typical DPI. It takes a very long time to do it, and a lot of the billing hours is important. It's labor intensive, and I'm sure if you have done a compliance, you will notice that there's tons of manual processes, and it's hard to maintain the service quality, especially if the lawyer or the client, or the consultant may not be as experienced. The question, as we are seeing this, our part of the world is the how. Everyone is telling on the what. In this case, what is the GDPR, right? But what the companies, as from my experience, they want to know, how do I comply? Okay, so this is the overview here. So I would like to give you a perspective in terms of the invention and what we decided to do. Okay, this is the traditional model. You do regulatory training. Guess what? When they leave the room, they will have forgotten half of the stuff that you have gone through with them, right? Same for advisories. In our part of the world, the experts come in and they give you a 20, 30-page recommendation on what should be done in the organization. And that's it, and you are left to implement it. You got software as a service. So what we did was we built a center layer, right? So we automated all the different components that is needed. And the system is here not to replace the lawyer or the consultant or the in-house person. Is to assist that with three words: automation, collaboration, and productivity. And in basing it on international framework, we do not believe that software has to be learned. If you could design something that is based on a standard we already know, then there's no need to learn the software. Because you're looking for the same, like for example, ISO is plan, do, check, act. As you will see, there's such thing called a privacy operational life cycle. So you do follow it, regardless of regulations, you're able to map them accordingly, giving a simple roadmap for the company to comply. Would you like anything else? Okay, so I'm going to quickly talk about what we have done, and I'm going to use an example of implementation in a company, right? So now here's the thing. In the Singapore laws, as in Malaysia, as in Philippines, to them it's a laundry list. So when we walk into a typical client, we first have to educate the management. Because we don't do that, you're not going to get approval for all the policies and the processes and stuff like that. So we educate them on a simple four-letter word, CUDS. Never before in Singapore's law, or many laws, that if you collect, use, disclose, and store data, there are now rules. There are now rules that you've got to follow, right? Same for GDPR. And if you knew that, then you can understand why a data map is going to be important. So you've got to assess the risk allocators. I'm going through this, I'm sure you have clients, depending on the business processes, think. Anything that involves personal data, there's a collection point. To the usage point, the disclosure point, storage point, and disposal. So this is one thing that we educate our clients. On the other side is entire framework, because management is asking, so what do I need to do? So we give them this simple APSR. Alvin creates an acronym called
App Store. Yeah.
App Store, right? So the first thing is you need to assess your risk. Assess the CUDS. So once you know the risk, then you can put in the controls, right? We know that technical controls, administrative controls, physical controls. If you look at GDPR, we talk about organizational technical measures, for example. So once you fix that, here's the problem. A lot of them stop here. It becomes a one-off effort, but you've got to sustain it. You've got to sustain it by doing your audits, your monitoring, your training, your communication, and of course, let's pray the last thing doesn't happen. An incident or a data subject request. For countries like Singapore and Hong Kong, we've got something called PL&B, which stands for
Privacy Management Program.
They expect you to have a conscious effort. In Singapore, we'll be launching the Data Protection Management Program. They now expect you to demonstrate accountability. It's not sitting there and doing passive compliance. Okay, so that's the problem we face. By telling the management, hey, you just have to remember two things, CUDS and APSR. What we have done is we have built an entire platform for you to flesh this out, and we give you a whole guideline. And if you are taking, if any of you are CIPM trained, this is actually what is covered in the exam, right? So this makes sense. So all I ask everyone to go to think about is CUDS and APSR, because CUDS is not the same as information security. For those of you who are trained, it's actually CIA, confidentiality, integrity, and